Welcome to another edition of Mad Assets. Derek on-chain here with Crypto Fluency, and we're continuing down our pipeline, revealing our top 7 picks for this current bull season we're in, what's known as the business end of the bull cycle. So it's where most of the volatility is going to happen in the last phase of the bull cycle, is where those crazy volatile swings occur that could just catch you completely off guard. We want to stay ahead of what's going on because you never know. There could be a super cycle forming. There's a lot of validation behind a super cycle theory. And so we want to make sure that we're well positioned. And I'm sure you would also want to be positioned when that happens. It's not as easy to sell at the right time and sort of exit. The exit plan is normally harder than it is to accumulate tokens. So it's all about getting your mind right, your psychology right. It's all about predetermining your exit points that makes you peaceful as an investor in the process. And so hope you do your own due diligence. It's up to you to make your own financial decisions. And we're just trying to kind of educate you with what we're seeing in the markets, specifically to the Cardano native token ecosystem, which I believe has some of the best major potential out there in all of crypto. None of these tokens you're seeing on this list have been through a bull market at all. That is huge. And they have real value, as you can see from other projects that have gained a lot of network effect in other ecosystems. But it doesn't mean that these projects here, some of these on our list and some that aren't on our list, could be behemoths, actually juggernauts of the space. It's kind of what Facebook did to MySpace. And there's so many examples of that. And so I bet you didn't guess this next one. I'd be very surprised if you did. But here we go. What's number 4? Let's look at it. We're going to go right to their website. And voila. It is the Oracle of Record, Orcfax. I call this the sleeper of the list. It is, we're going to get into it briefly. We're going to just talk about it. I've done videos about Orcfax before. I've interviewed the founder, and we see a tremendous amount of potential and partnerships with Orcfax. It's the Oracle of Record. Cardano desperately needs an Oracle solution. They have an intense and highly sophisticated technology stack, and they're doing a triangulated model to come up with their feeds, which is really beautiful. What you can do in the Cardano ecosystem, how you can build on the Cardano ecosystem, is much different than what you can do as an ERC20 token, for instance. And so here's Orcfax. Go ahead and check their website out. You can scroll through, find their documents, join their Discord, look at their Medium articles. They constantly release their updates. And so let's go back to our little whiteboard here and look at why I feel like, right, that on number 4, Orcfax. Orcfax is the next one. It's the Oracle data layer. I got it down here below. Okay. Modest volume, basically no volume. It's another reason why it's a sleeper. Data feeds, validator, staking. It's got governance built in, just like all these Cardano native assets, because Cardano set that bar high. They're paving the way for on-chain governance, and every single one of these Cardano native tokens is going to be able to have that same capability. Data feeds, validator, staking. We said that mainnet feeds, validator onboarding, DApp adoption, liquidity depth is the risks right now. Competition from Chainlink and other oracles, but I feel like Orcfax is coming to maybe disrupt the system a little bit and take advantage of a much needed Oracle solution for the Cardano ecosystem. Okay. And let's try to go ahead and find my bigger chart. Here it is. This is what I presented, put together for you guys here. And we're going to look at it. We're going to say why. Like, what's our theory? Why do we think Orcfax? You might feel differently, and that's totally okay. And so what we want to talk about right now is where Orcfax, or the FACT token, fits in the ecosystem. And so, as you can see, Orcfax is Cardano's emerging decentralized Oracle infrastructure with its native token, that FACT token. So it's built deliberately to bring reliable, verifiable, real-world data into dApps on Cardano. And much more than Oracle feeds as far as token prices, like tracking the price of Bitcoin, tracking the price of ADA, Minswap, all of the tokens. That's actually like their first iteration. But think of sports scores, think of weather, obviously price feeds. What about historical facts? We see a lot of movement happening in the prediction markets, where betting and prediction markets are huge. Orcfax is going to be something you can consider as far as relying on that data in real time when there's speculation and prediction, whether it's pricing, whether it's weather, right? Sports scores, things like that. How can you trust what you're seeing is actually real when there's real money on the line, okay? And there's real world timing. Okay, so things happen across a state of time, and how can you make sure that everything is super accurate when you're dealing with this peer-to-peer transactional infrastructure? Okay, using fact-checking styled feeding system. Its core pillars Orcfax brings is the utility and token purpose, which is another reason why I believe it's a sleeper for the beginning fundamental analysis topic of the utility token. So it pays the fees in fact. So everybody who's integrated or partnered with Orcfax is going to pay the fees in Orcfax. And if they're paying in ADA, they, in the mechanism, immediately trade those tokens into Orcfax tokens. So the core utility for the paid feeds, which is the heartbeat, on-demand metric to validate and run the Orcfax validator system, is the fact token itself. They're also validator staking and slashing. And so there's definitely going to be staking for the public with Orcfax, and that's going to roll out as well. So there's a lot of opportunity to stake your token and gain rewards from that, like all these other Cardano native assets that we talk about on the channel. They're developing the DAO governance. Okay, so if you're staking, you can participate in the DAO, making the decisions once they move out from where they are today. There's a lot of future happening. I've seen this go on with Liqwid Finance. I've seen this go on with Minswap, Cardano, and Orcfax is coming real soon. So if you have some Orcfax tokens that's just been sitting in your wallet, there's going to be a great opportunity for you to get some yield on those tokens. And so there's clear supply and distribution. They have one of the great transparent token generation events. Okay, it's a fixed supply of 1 billion. What I love about this in their tokenomics is that 50% of the fact token are reserved for validator rewards. And you could be a validator. You have to go through a process. You have to hold a certain amount of tokens. And it's a great business on the side. Like if you're smart and tuned in a way where you are wired to operate and run like a Cardano stake pool, you can find yourself saying, well, I could also run a Orcfax validator. You can run a Cornucopias node, or you can get involved in running a Igon node. There's lots of ways that you could take advantage if you're wired that way. And I highly suggest you look into that if you're thinking about it, because you're going to get a lot more incentive if you're operating a stake pool or running a validator in Orcfax, as opposed to just staking your ADA in your wallet or staking the Orcfax token. Okay, so we just stake right now. We don't operate in validator rewards because I'm not wired that way. I'd love to partner with somebody who would. And so reach out to the cryptofluency.io email if you're wanting to partner and do some node operations, because it's just everywhere. It's really what Nuvola, you think Nuvola, they did that. I saw them, I met them last year, but saw them this year at Rare Evo. I mean, they built an incredible, a highly sophisticated business around that very point. And they're partnered with Orcfax so they're running, I think, 2 validators on Orcfax, which is huge. And they're doing stuff with Cornucopias and Igon and World Mobile, right? So you as a small person could do it as well, an individual entity or a small group, or you could do it at an enterprise level and highly invest in these opportunities I don't think most people are aware of. And there's open source, so you don't have to ask or apply. You just have to do what's required. And all that's open source. So you can just simply begin doing something like that if that's something that you're wired to do. I've tried. I'm not there with that. And I do other things. I do real estate as my hustle around here where I'm at in the Philadelphia region. You can tell by the Phillies hat. They have transparent ADA handle based vesting balances. So you can see exactly how much the team has, the advisors, the ecosystem. You can tell when their releases are going to be. You can look and follow and track their tokens. So everything is transparent. So there's not this like dumping, rug pull type mag dumps and token dumps that you see in other projects. Okay. On chain and adoption signals. So they launched via Wing Riders Launchpad in September 2023. Then they have actively switched over to Minswap with the majority of their liquidity. And they are partnering with Minswap right now. Minswap is partnered with Orcfax to utilize their validator, which is huge for Orcfax and secure for Minswap. So Minswap really loves that. Then they're also partnering with Liqwid Finance. You could find all this information out in your Medium article connected to Orcfax, and that's huge. And I'm sure everyone is going to, in my opinion, almost everyone is going to be using Orcfax because it's Cardano native and extremely respected in the ecosystem with this very needed layer, this Oracle layer, right? And so they have completed the, or right now they're actively in their incentivized testnet with validators ramping up. Phase 2 is starting soon. The market activity, it's live trading, various dexes. Like I said, they moved most of their liquidity on Minswap. They have current real world trading volume. It is extremely modest. Like honestly, look at that, hundreds of ADA. It's so small. That's why in the portfolio, we like to look at underutilized, underappreciated, completely undervalued projects. And Orcfax to us is one of the most underrated, undervalued sleepers on the list. Circulating supply right now, they have 176 million FAC, fully diluted market cap, 4.1 million. This is from like CoinGecko and all these metrics, live market cap under 1 million. Completely small. Just imagine if a couple $100 million or $1 billion drop into their market cap. What would that do to the price? No financial advice. And so why this matters is that oracles are foundational infrastructure. So if Orcfax establishes a trusted decentralized Oracle footprint on Cardano, FACT could become the go-to utility token for data access, making it key infrastructure layer next to Minswap, Liqwid, and all of the rest. And so that, my friends, is our number 4 pick. And tomorrow's even more exciting. And so I really enjoy tomorrow's video topic as much as I do today. And that is all we have for right now. I encourage you to do your deep dive into Orcfax if you are a serious person looking to get in position, looking to understand and see all the opportunities available to you as you navigate this complex world of Cardano native token ecosystem, Cardano DeFi. We at Crypto Fluency like to make things simple in that regard. So go ahead and get our workbook on stuff.io and support the channel by sharing this to as many people as you can and reaching out to us via email. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow.